Good morning. I back with some more questions, and I can't remember who commented on this. Let me see. I think it was S. Lee that was asking these questions. I hope I'm not wrong, but this person wanted to know, how do we help our kids find their interests at such young ages? And I think a lot of parents can see what their kids' natural tendencies are and their gifts and talents, but we are a little more purposeful, and it kind of starts with, what do you want to read about, and giving them the freedom to choose their books. When they're very young, we're not trying to fill in transcripts yet, so everything that they're reading is for fun. And even if there's a reward system for, fill out a chart, read 3 books, and then you get a piece of candy, or read 10 books and you get to go have ice cream. Whatever little system you want to put in place for instilling their love of reading. And then through that, you'll find which kids like science books, which kids like books on dinosaurs, or reading about being a firefighter, whatever it is. And no matter how young they are, we feed that interest until it plays out, because we know kids change their mind and they go through phases. And so whatever it is, whatever their phase they're in, we just give them all the resources to study what they want to study and see how long it plays out. And in some cases, they may be 10, like Rosanna, and have an interest in architect, and it never goes away. Or like Serena, an interest in medicine, and it continues from when they're 10 into adulthood. And Seth was interested in history, specifically Vikings, and he ended up being a lawyer, but that's because when he was majoring in history in college, he started taking political science along with that, and then realized that he could use all that in a capacity as an attorney. So it evolved, and we supported him along the way. But it does start very young with just going to the library and you being interested in whatever it is they're interested in. This person also asked about outside time. I love to be outside myself. I love doing yard work. And my kids are, during the school year, you wait till 3 o'clock when you start seeing the school buses go by. Then it's free time to go outside and play, jump on the trampoline. We have a little upright pool. And I say we wait for the school buses because sometimes you don't know who your neighbors are and if they're going to be critical and wonder, why aren't those kids in school? It depends where you live. Of course, if you're in the country, I would do schooling outside all day on a beautiful day. When we lived on base during the summertime, we would do year-round school, and our kids would hear the kids outside playing during the day in the summertime, and that would actually motivate them to get their stuff done really early. And it's amazing how that could be such a huge motivator, letting them know they can play outside when their schoolwork is done. So we use that to our advantage. And then as a family, we like to hike and go for walks and go to dog parks and take the dog for a walk and let kids ride their bikes while we walk. And hiking, we've done small groups with our church where we do hiking groups. So my husband has a small John boat. He likes to fish. So we like camping. I don't like remote camping. I like glamping, but we do like to camp. The next question is, do we need diplomas to apply to college? And the thing about diplomas is people are thinking of the square piece of paper, and 3 of our kids have official square piece of paper diplomas from the state of California because they took the California High School Proficiency Exam. Our daughter Serena has an Outlook Academy diploma, but it was more of a certificate that we produced. It was not accredited by our cover school. And then the other kids don't have them at all. So that question is complicated. So the colleges don't really need a diploma. The ones that we've applied to, they need more of a transcript. And And our two oldest don't even have high school transcripts because they actually dual enrolled and earned enough credits to kind of transfer into a four-year university. So if anyone specifically needed to know about college admissions, that's where we invite people to call us, email us at collegeby12@gmail.com, and we can specifically talk about your child, what you're doing with them, and what colleges they're applying to, because that question is kind of complicated. Next question is, how was I able to teach when I was so tired from my pregnancies? We do write about that in the book, and that's kind of where all this started. I share in there that I was pregnant with my 5th child and tired and still nursing a toddler while pregnant. And then my oldest daughter, Hannah, was 12. She was outdoing me in math. I had to ask her dad, Kip, to help her with math. And that's when he realized that we could outsource the math at the level she was. It was college algebra level, which was kind of algebra 2. And that was her gift. That was her strong suit. So her first math class was, her first college class was a math class because we were setting her up for success. She would not have thrived at a public speaking class or an English class with a lot of writing. Her thing was math. So that's kind of how that started with her. And then quickly we realized that we were now working smarter rather than harder. And so we did it with the second one and then started prepping the third one. So one way to deal with being overwhelmed with babies and toddlers was to get the older ones graduated and kind of outsource what we could, whether it's through a tutor or through dual enrollment or just graduating them, and in Hannah's case, taking the California High School Proficiency Exam. So that was one way I dealt with that, because now I was just homeschooling the middle kids, which started to look more like unschooling because they were just kind of reading and writing and doing math every day, and I was trying to automate that. So I was always looking for ways to automate things, and Kip was very receptive to that when I would come to him and say, I have a problem with this subject, with this child, and it's hard, and I'm tired, and I don't have time. And he would, with his visionary mind, he would figure out a way to just make it easier. And he loves to engineer out problems. That's something that he says very commonly. So again, more on that, for tips for that. If that is your situation, just reach out to us and I could expand on that. Did I take time off after each time I had a baby? Absolutely. And that was one of the reasons why. And in addition to having babies, we were military, so we were moving every 2 to 3 years. So that's one of the other reasons that we're so glad we homeschooled. We had that flexibility, and we were able, we always wanted to homeschool through the summer so that I could feel ahead instead of behind. That would stress me out, feeling like we were missing days. And in some of the states we lived, I had to keep attendance, so I had to feel like I was ahead. So, but I just shared this in a consultation just like 2 days ago. One of the things I did when either I was sick or tired or dealing with pregnancy stuff or just recovering from like a C-section with my 6th child, I would take time off, but not really, because I found that my kids could at least still get credit for half a day of school if we literally did Bible study. They read throughout the day and maybe did some math, and they did math independently, even if it was just math games on an iPad or a computer, or back in the day watching a math video or something like that. So that I could still at least give them a half day credit. So I didn't feel the stress of we're missing school. And that's when I realized these kids are learning every day, as long as they're home with us and they're reading and writing. Every day counts as a school day. And so as long as they're not watching mindless TV or just being idle, even if they're doing arts and crafts or exploring their interests as drawing, building Legos, and then playing outside and playing with other kids and having that social time. It's all learning. How old was I when I had my last child? I was almost 42 when I had Thunder, and after that, a couple years later, I had a miscarriage, and then a few months later, another miscarriage. So I was an older mom and a young mom. I've done it all. And we found, we try to live, be fruitful and multiply, and God loves babies, and so do we. And I have a lot more questions, but I'm going to try and limit the videos to 10 minutes so I don't bore all of you. And I want to invite you to like and subscribe. Send me your comments, your questions, so I can keep this going. Share our videos with others, and turn on your notifications so you know when we put out another video, and maybe you'll hear your question answered. And reach out to us. We're at collegeby12@gmail.com. God bless you.